Hey everyone, everybody out there, what is going on? What's good? Real sports talk. What's good on the internet sports life? I'm Akiem Bailum giving you our NBA mid-season report now that we are indeed at the All-Star break. It's not really, of course, as we know, it's past mid-season because all teams have played more than 41 games before the sake of the NBA saying it's an official mid-season being at the All-Star break. I guess we'll just go ahead and run with it. So I wouldn't call this maybe as much as a mid-season report as it would be probably just a breakdown of what a lot of these teams are looking like right now at the All-Star break. So let's go ahead and let's get right to it. Of course, in the Eastern Conference, you got the Miami Heat. They've won 7 consecutive games, and of course, everyone is going positively, absolutely gaga over LeBron James and what he has done over the past 7 games. Okay, he scored 30-plus points over the past 7 games, and in 6 of those 7 games, he had a shooting percentage of over 60%. Yeah, I believe he got like 59 or something like that against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and at least that snapped that streak. But LeBron James has absolutely been in a different kind of zone over the past 6 or 7 games. And once again, considering that it's MJ's, that it's Michael Jordan's 50th birthday and everything, everybody is going ahead and once again bringing up all the comparisons once again between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Now, I said on my regular YouTube page, on my own YouTube page, that I still believe that all of these comparisons that are going on with Michael Jordan and LeBron James are rather kind of they're kind of going overboard because why does LeBron James have to be Michael Jordan? Why does LeBron James have to live up to Michael Jordan? And it's the same thing with Kobe Bryant. Why does LeBron James have to live up to either Michael Jordan or whom a lot of other people love to compare him to in Magic Johnson? Why can't Kobe Bryant be Kobe Bryant? Why can't LeBron James be LeBron James? LeBron tweeted something earlier this week that's to the extent of I'm not MJ, I'm LJ. In other words, he knows that at this point he's not Michael Jordan. He's trying to build up a legacy to where players 20 years down the road will be compared not to Michael Jordan, but eventually to LeBron James. Who is going to be the next LeBron James? That's what he's trying to do right now. He's already got 1 ring. He may win 4, another 4, or as LeBron put it, not 5, not 6, not 7, which was probably a tongue-in-cheek once again quote by him when he did that when he was first introduced to Miami. But I just don't get it. It seems like it was another excuse for everybody to bring up a bunch of LeBron James and Michael Jordan comparisons. But the last few games he is in the zone. I will not be surprised. It's very tempting to pick the Western Conference to once again win the NBA All-Star Game because it's the thing about All-Star Game, of course, is that it's not about who wins and who loses. It's about how little defense gets played in the thing, how far over 100 points both teams go. And the way things are looking right now, I will not be surprised if LeBron James wound up winning MVP. He may wind up having another 30-plus point game in the All-Star Game. So we'll see what happens on Sunday night in the All-Star Game. With all the All-Stars that'll be there. I kind of wish that I was in Houston, but it should be entertaining. Even though they don't play any defense, the All-Star games are always very entertaining. So definitely the Miami Heat look like the favorites in the Eastern Conference. But of course, everybody's also, there's the New York Knicks. They're currently at 32-18. There's a possibility that, they may do something. Indiana's been a pleasant surprise, and they're young with Paul George and Danny Granger and everybody that they have. In Indiana, they've certainly been a pleasant surprise. Right now in the Eastern Conference, the Central Division, right now they're 32-21, and right now, you got to look out for them. I believe that Indiana has already beaten Miami earlier in the year, so definitely look out for that if that would happen. And I guess you can go ahead and move on to the Western Conference and talk about some of the things that are going on there. Once again, the San Antonio Spurs getting no love, of course. They still got Tim Duncan. They still got Ginobili. They still got Parker. Now they got this dude Gary Neal. And once again, because they play in San Antonio, because they got no dunk contest worthy stars on their team. San Antonio Spurs not getting any love, but you know what? They're 42-12 once again. They've won their last three. They're 11-2 in their own division, 22-8 in the conference, and once again they're being overlooked because everybody, of course, is looking at Oklahoma City, which, you know, for a reason they're 39-14, even though they just got absolutely pummeled and beaten into the ground by Miami. But Oklahoma City certainly looking like they're once again putting themselves in position to possibly make the NBA Finals. Here's the thing about the Western Conference. The Western Conference is basically a 3, and you can probably say a 14 conference. There are only 3 or 4 teams in the West that really have a legitimate shot at this point to reach the NBA Finals. San Antonio, Oklahoma City, the Clippers, and you can probably throw in Denver as well. Midway through the first half of the season, you could probably also make a case for Memphis, but Memphis is so worried about luxury tax and the fact that they're in a small market. I mean, what were they thinking? I mean, I understand this. There's a financial aspect, of course, to everything that goes on in the NBA. But Memphis, when's the last time you had a team this good? When Hubie Brown was the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies and you were at the middle of the pack in the Western Conference, when was the last time that you had a team potentially this good that could get to an NBA Finals? What were you thinking? Trading arguably your best player in Rudy Gay to Toronto? Huh? Come again? And now I just read something about with Rudy Gay being traded that now all of a sudden they're thinking about trading perhaps Zach Randolph too. I saw something about that he has to now look over his shoulder to think that he may not get traded. Huh? Come again? What are the Memphis Grizzlies doing? What are their front office freaking doing? I just don't get what's going on in Memphis. There's a difference between being fiscally responsible in basketball and there's a difference between just being straight up El Cheapo. There are teams in sports that are fiscally responsible and there are teams in sports that are straight up cheap. Major League Baseball has a lot of teams that are cheap whose owners do not belong in that sport. And the same thing is going on for the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies are so damn cheap that I think that they're sooner than later going to be called the Memphis Grizzlies, sponsored by Walmart. Always low prices. Always. So I just don't get what's going on in Memphis, but certainly the Western Conference between Memphis and the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Los Angeles Clippers, is of course the Clippers, Lob City, all that stuff. They've been an extremely pleasant surprise. I mean, CP3, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Jay Crossover, Jamal Crawford is certainly coming to his own with what is called Los Angeles's other team, but they're not looking like Los Angeles other team, especially the last game that they played, which were against LA's, I guess you can say, flagship team in the Lakers, where they wound up beating the Los Angeles Lakers, of course, at the Staples Center, since, of course, they occupy that, they both share that basketball arena. But the Los Angeles Clippers have actually looked like a real basketball team, and I kind of wish that the media would give a little bit more love to the Clippers because they're actually playing good, and the Lakers are playing like, pah! I mean, the Los Angeles Lakers, they're in the exact correct city for the way that their team has been playing right now. Who has the soap opera rights to the Lakers right now? Maybe it's that new Time Warner Sports Network that the Lakers just established prior to this season. I mean, all the Kobe Bryant and Dwight Howard stuff, and there was something that broke last night about the possibility that the Lakers were thinking about a trade with the Celtics to trade Dwight Howard to the Celtics for Rajon Rondo. So, and if they're going to trade, I don't know. We don't know if this was entirely true or not. But if the Lakers were thinking about trading Dwight Howard for Rajon Rondo, then what that tells me is that Jim Buss is seeing the writing on the wall. Even though a lot of this is Jim Buss' fault because he passed over Phil Jackson for Mike D'Antoni, who I think ought to be renamed Mike Antoni because we know he coached no D. But you got to give some of the blame to Jim Buss at this point because of everything, because of all that stuff that's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers, but Dwight Howard is not going to be a Laker long term. It's obvious at this point that he's not going to be on that team for much longer. There was something about maybe he gets traded to Houston, but his ultimate destination, as we all know, as certainly I still believe, and most likely a lot of others still believe, his ultimate destination is still Brooklyn. He wanted Brooklyn at the end. He wanted to go to Brooklyn toward the end of last year when all of the Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard, Stan Van Gundy saga drama was going on, and he really wanted out of Orlando. Then he wound up playing himself because he really didn't he really didn't scour the market all that much. He just accepted a trade. So it's obvious Dwight Howard is not going to be a Los Angeles Laker for much longer. And if they were thinking about trading him for Rajon Rondo, then the Lakers see the writing on the wall. And speaking of the Boston Celtics, going back to the Eastern Conference, Boston, they're still trying to remain relevant. I mean, in their last 10 games, they've won 8 of their last 10 games, even though, yeah, exactly, they won 8 of their last 10 games. And everybody absolutely wrote them off after the Rondo injury. Everybody was thinking about trading Kevin Garnett, who said that this was going to be his last All-Star game. Paul Pierce possibly getting traded. But the Celtics, they're not going to win an NBA championship. They're 28-24, and they got that little problem down in South Florida right now. That's a problem right now for the entire Eastern Conference. But the fact that Boston is still trying to hang in there, I think is very admirable, even with all the veterans that they do have on that team, despite having no Rondo. So the Celtics, I can understand they're certainly still trying to stay in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference. But Rondo or no Rondo, they're not winning anything in the Eastern Conference. That thing looks like it is Miami's to lose. And as far as Chicago is concerned, they're 30-22 as well. I mean, they got some veterans on their team, Luol Deng, Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer. I can only just imagine how good that team would be if they still had Derrick Rose, if he was healthy. If he was healthy, the Chicago Bulls would be right up there competing with the Miami Heat for that #1 spot in the Eastern Conference. And if Derrick Rose was probably healthy, we could probably put the Eastern Conference Finals right now at a potential 7-game series between the Heat and the Bulls, but that's just me. So certainly right now, it's the NBA season is playing out the way a lot of people expected it. Even though I don't think anybody expected the Knicks to be where they are currently right now. They got Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith, Amari Stoudemire, the whole deal there. Steve Novak, who's going to be in the three-point shooting contest tonight at the All-Star Saturday night. But I don't think anybody expected the Knicks to be atop of their division. And Brooklyn is also competing as well, even though they had some problems earlier in the year when they fired Avery Johnson. So NBA definitely playing out the way a lot of people expected it to, with a few exceptions. Certainly been a fun season. Can we get to the second half? And then ultimately to the playoffs, which is when when we really start paying attention to the NBA. Should be interesting, should be a great finish down the line as we get set to kick off the second half of the season, and then ultimately into the postseason, which most likely will have Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then you got Oklahoma, the Clippers, San Antonio. The Golden State Warriors have also been a pleasant surprise in the Western Conference. And also there's Denver, who's got Kenneth Faried, who just won the Rising Stars Challenge last night at NBA All-Star on Friday in Houston. So definitely should be great to watch going down the stretch. And also congratulations to Drew Holiday of the Philadelphia 76ers making it to not only the All-Star game but also the Skills Challenge as well. So what do you think of the NBA and the NBA season, the way it's gone down so far? Who do you think is going to win ultimately the NBA championship? Rate, comment, rap, reply, add, and subscribe, NBA fans, because that's what we're here for, of course, on The Real Sports Talk. And also look out for the future, because we got a lot planned. Also, there's the World Baseball Classic coming up. I'll be leading the Real Sports Talk's coverage of that event coming up as that kicks off actually in a couple of weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to put out some more videos in that, and definitely I'll be doing a lot more online, on YouTube, and also on our website as far as it relates to the World Baseball Classic. So look out for that. So until next time, I'm just one guy on the Real Sports Talk talking sports. My name is Akiem Bailum. So until next time, let's enjoy NBA All-Star Weekend. And even for those of you that are still into the Slam Dunk Contest, as well as the All-Star Game on Sunday night, and then we look forward to the second half of season in professional basketball. See y'all on the internet somewhere.